Welcome back to the Everygirl podcast, to our Ask the Everygirl segment where I get real about all the things that matter to you, your wellness, your glow up, your dream life, and yes, your Trader Joe's haul. Today, we are tackling one of, I think, the most relatable questions I've probably ever gotten for this segment. And I'm guessing a lot of you are going to feel very seen by this one. So here's the question that I got DM'd from a listener. Your meals on Instagram always inspire me, but I am the most ADHD when getting from ingredient sourcing to actually putting it together. I tend to reach for processed foods because I'm short on time and short on decision making power. Your meals always look so fantastic. Can you suggest simple alternatives for the non lazy girls who are lazy with food? Okay, first of all, I get it. If you've ever found yourself spiraling into the frozen mac and cheese 3 nights in a row, you are not alone. That is like a very normal human thing. Like we are all doing it, whether or not we're posting about it on Instagram. We are not here today to shame the 9 p.m. cereal dinner or the emergency gas station snack run or the frozen meal for lunch crowd. Okay. We are here to talk about how to streamline your routines and nourish your body without making it another exhausting thing on your to do list. And maybe even romanticize your meals a little. So it's actually a time in your day that you can enjoy. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to share some real life strategies for building a lazy girl meal routine that still feels nourishing and helps your body thrive. And dare I say, might even be enjoyable. First, I want to say I love to share my recipes and my meals on Instagram as, I guess, like inspo because healthy food is truly my love language. Like I love cooking for my fiance the meals that he like doesn't even know how many nutrients he's getting in. Like I love that. Or like when I used to see my grandma, I would like force her to drink a smoothie every day. Like my love language is truly giving nutrients to the people that I love while still making sure it's like enjoyable and pleasurable. The people that I love includes you guys. Like I love sharing those meals as kind of like this inspo. Look at this delicious food that tastes good, but look at all the things it's doing for your body. I can help you find a meal that's going to make you feel good and taste delicious. That is my love language. But I don't always think to or remember to share the boxed mac and cheese or like the very unaesthetic girl dinners that inevitably happen. Literally just last night, I had this whole delicious creamy soup recipe planned and I looked up from work at 7:30 p.m., still hours more to get to, and I made myself a quesadilla and I called it a night. And I think that's okay. Like that's healthy. I keep Goodles, which is a healthier mac and cheese brand. It's like it's so good. It's my favorite. Or a frozen cauliflower pizza on hand for those moments where if I didn't even have time to prep or get to the meals that I thought I would, I have some backup easy, tasty options. They're not the most nutritious things in the world, but buying a cauliflower crust pizza over a regular pizza or having the Goodles instead of Kraft, like, these are just small changes of it's taking the same amount of time, but it's just, like, slightly healthier. Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that is the best option for you. I look at that as, like, it's okay because for most of my life, I have a strategy and a routine that helps me fit in the nutrients that do make me feel my best. And every so often when even the strategy and the routines don't work out, I have plan Bs. I even go to like plan Cs and Ds that might be ordering takeout. That's okay. The true definition of nutrition also includes flexibility. It's having rhythms and rituals that support you most of the time and make your body feel amazing, not having unrealistic expectations that make you feel like a failure when life gets lifey. So please, like, first of all, know that the aesthetic healthy meals only happen because I also have the backup plans. It's the balance of intention and flexibility that actually makes wellness sustainable. So if your brain is short circuiting every time you open the fridge, or if you feel like you're too lazy to eat healthy, first of all, you're not lazy. You probably just need a system that's built for your brain and your life. So let's get into what that system might look like. First, starting with grocery shopping and prepping, because eating healthy meals actually begins with the prep you are allowing yourself. Here's a very, I would say, foolproof routine that I would do if I were you. I would plan for one time a week, the same time every week. Maybe it's Saturday, it's part of your best self Saturday. I personally like to grocery shop and prep on Mondays. Whenever works for you. And I also want you to romanticize the experience. This is not a chore. Maybe you're going to your farmer's market. Maybe you're spending time looking at all the fun new seasonal stuff on the shelves. Maybe you are listening to a Nancy Meyers playlist in your AirPods while you're shopping. Maybe you're getting yourself an iced coffee while you're out. This is part of your best life. Okay. This is not a chore. So, we're going to do everything it takes to rewire that going grocery shopping, getting your food for the week is this like romanticized fun activity, not a chore you have to do. So that's step one. Next is going into the grocery store, the farmer's market, whatever it is, with a game plan. So, one easy routine that takes a lot of the decision fatigue away is the 5, 4, 3, 2 stock up method. This is basically like your grocery flow. So, what this means is you pick 5 fruits or veggies that will serve as your fiber and your color, your antioxidants, all that good stuff throughout the week. And if it's really a busy week, I would think of things that don't take time to prepare, cherry tomatoes, berries, lettuce mixes, cans of olives can count. Those pre-chopped veggies that you can get at Trader Joe's, cucumbers, maybe even like frozen spinach or broccoli that you can just throw into stuff easily. Just 5 fruits or veggies, whatever that means to you. And again, this is for like if you are having one of those weeks or you're one of those people where you're like, I need to keep things as simple as possible. I obviously love diversity and plants. I've talked about this concept a lot of like this is the best thing you can do for your gut health, for antioxidant levels is to get variety. So like absolutely get more than 5 fruits and veggies. This is just like if you need to pare down, you're overwhelmed, decision fatigue is setting in, just get 5 fruits or veggies for the week. Next up, 4, you're going to pick 4 protein sources to rotate through. And these are going to be grab and go or minimal prep, rotisserie chicken, boiled eggs, canned salmon or tuna, tempeh or tofu. You can get those like pre marinated tofu as well. That's just like ready to throw in and cook. Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. These are like really high protein and also snackable. Next is 3 flavor boosters, AKA, I kind of call these like dopamine hits. These make your meals feel indulgent and satisfying. They make it taste good. So that could look like a fun dip, like a hummus or a pesto. It could be a fancy topping like pickled onions, olives, banana peppers, feta cheese. It could be a sauce or dressing, coconut aminos, balsamic glaze, Trader Joe's green goddess dressing. And then you're going to pick 2 sources of carbohydrates. So that could be sweet potatoes, quinoa, it can be frozen bags of reheatable rice, maybe chickpea pasta, sprouted tortillas. It can even be a can of beans, something that takes minimal prep, but will get you some great fiber and a good source of energy from those carbohydrates. This is truly all you need for the week. If you're in one of the weeks where you're like, I'm overwhelmed, I have decision fatigue, just follow the 5, 4, 3, 2 game plan and you can mix and match these things throughout the week. That's the whole point is that you're not going to be eating the exact same meals. They're kind of going to be mixed and matched. We are trying to avoid that feeling of like, I bought some random groceries and I still have no meals feeling. So that's why we are paring down. We're only getting a specific number of each item, and then we're making sure that they can all work together. If a grocery trip is not happening, because I have these weeks too, if, even like the weekends are crazy busy or you just got home from traveling and you have to go right into a work week, I keep a recurring Instacart list or a Whole Foods pickup order with all of my basic go to 5, 4, 3, 2 items already saved so that I can just reorder with absolutely zero brain power, which is especially helpful if you are into that decision fatigue mindset where you're like, I literally cannot even think about choosing what meals I'm going to make this week or what to pick up at the grocery store. Have like easy go tos that you can mix and match, cucumbers, chicken, tofu, Greek yogurt, tomatoes, spinach, like these easy things that you can just repurpose into other meals. have a list ready to go. If you are someone that runs into this decision fatigue a lot and hate going to the grocery store, set reminders on your phone to do the same time every week. Just place your Instacart order or your Whole Foods pickup order if you don't want to pay the cost of delivery, because that's usually me. The same time every single week, like get rid of the decision fatigue. So once you have your groceries, you got your 5432 grocery flow, you are going to go home and take 20 minutes max for a lazy girl assembly routine. So, really, this should be like an hour total of your week. You're grocery shopping and then you're spending 20 minutes to prep. That should be like max an hour. If you're ordering your groceries, it's just a matter of placing the order for 5 minutes and then prepping for 20 minutes. So, what you're gonna do in this, like, I call this like the lazy girl assembly line, you're going to spend this time washing and chopping veggies and prepping whatever needs to be prepped. Maybe you do one big sheet pan of all the roasted veggies for the week together. You just throw it on a pan, put some olive oil, salt, pepper, stick it in the oven, and you roast it so that you have your veggies prepared to easily reheat the rest of the week. Maybe you are hard boiling 6 eggs during this time, and then you're making a batch of quinoa or rice. You're rinsing your canned beans and then putting them in a container. So those are ready to go. Like literally, all you need is 20 minutes to prepare all your veggies. Maybe you're cutting up the rotisserie chicken. I actually do cut a rotisserie chicken. If you don't know, I've been a vegetarian my whole life. So, like, when I try to give advice on how to prepare meat or seafood, I usually have to Google it. I have no idea. So, whatever you have to do to prepare a chicken, you can do that in this time. If you wanted to spend a little extra time, if you have 30 minutes instead of just 20 minutes, if you want to spend 40 minutes, look ahead to your busiest days coming up that week and pre portion like emergency girl dinners or girl lunches in containers. You can make like quinoa, cucumbers, leafy greens, olives, and hard boiled eggs, and then have like a dip in a container or a dressing or something ready to go so that they're already prepackaged. You just have to put them on a plate and you're good. So that is all the prep that it takes in order to have a week's worth of super easy meals that you can throw together. As for how to actually turn them into meals or different combos that won't make you tired of them throughout the week, a few different options. Okay. For one, you can use ChatGPT. You tell Chat all of the ingredients you got. And again, it's not like you went to the grocery store, got a bunch of random shit, and you're like, oh my God, what did I even buy? You can go through your 5432 ingredients list. That's another reason why that system works, is because you easily remember and keep track of the ingredients that you got. So just tell ChatGPT the ingredients you got, your 5432, and ask it to combine those ingredients into meals that will take under 5 minutes to prepare. It is amazing. The variety it could come up with more combinations that you even could think about. But if you're okay being kind of more simple, it is also pretty intuitive. And you have so many options that will take under 5 minutes to put together throughout the week once you have everything prepped. Here's some options, okay, with all of the same ingredients. And also using the routines going through the 5432 method. So you can start with, what are my veggies? What is my protein? What is my fun topping? What is my carbohydrate? Like, it's also makes it a lot easier to just like put it together. So here's some examples of meals that use a lot of the same overlapping ingredients that you might have gotten from your grocery haul, but are different meals. They can be put together in a couple minutes. You can do like a quinoa bowl or a rice bowl, add some cucumber, some tomato, some canned tuna, add some hummus on top, and put some olives on it. You could do a spreaded tortilla with some rotisserie chicken, arugula, those cucumbers and tomato, put some pesto on it and top with pickled onion. How good does that sound? You could do like a delicious girl lunch or snack plate of like cottage cheese and berries, boiled egg, cucumber, tomato, that hummus or pesto dip. You could do tacos with that same sprouted tortilla and do cucumber, tomato, avocado, put some tempeh or use the chicken again, and top with salsa for a totally different experience. I also have lots of clients that deal with this decision fatigue with food, and it really benefits them to stick with one breakfast all week or one lunch all week. Like, whatever meal you feel like you have nailed down, why not have the same thing every day? I have had the same breakfast every day for years, literally. Sometimes I'll be craving a smoothie instead, or sometimes I will be, on the weekends I have brunch or like I want to make myself pancakes. That's different. But pretty much most days, I will have either a yogurt bowl or a warm chia pudding bowl every single day without fail. So I don't have to think about breakfast. I don't have to think about what groceries. I'm getting the same groceries for breakfast every week. That takes away so much decision fatigue by taking out the guesswork of one meal. So that might mean every single day for breakfast, you are having a smoothie or you're having a yogurt bowl or you're having scrambled eggs with veggies or whatever it is, you have that nailed down. And then maybe all it is you're rotating just between two different lunches and dinners all week. For lunch, either you're having a snack plate or you're having a chicken wrap. And then for dinner, you're either having the chickpea pasta salad that you prepped on Sunday or you're having a grain bowl. Like you can keep it so simple and rotate between the same meals. And if you are someone who gets sick of meals easily, like you can't repeat meals throughout the week, changing up the dressings and sauces and those when I talked about the flavor enhancers does make a big difference as well. And the point really is like you can use the same ingredients that you bought and prepped in so many different ways. So, like, especially if prepping and chopping and all of those kind of things drain you or you don't have the time, you can use one basic base in three different ways to avoid burnout without doing extra work. So, for example, quinoa. This is like an easy base. You can use rice in the same way, but I love quinoa because it has extra protein, it has extra fiber. Quinoa is like my favorite base. I usually will have quinoa and I'll make it typically every single week. So, for example, you could do quinoa and chickpeas and some veggies and a lemon tahini dressing. Tuesday could be quinoa and feta and olives and lettuce to make like a Greek bowl. Wednesday, you could make quinoa and scrambled eggs and top with sriracha and scallions for a breakfast fried rice kind of vibe. Same ingredient, but totally different experiences. So, the 5-4-3-2 grocery method will keep you nourished, it will minimize prep time, and it will avoid the decision spiral that always happens at like 6 p.m. where we're like, I don't know what to make for dinner and I don't want to cook. You have it taken care of. Okay. If that doesn't resonate with you, here are some more tips that I swear by. First of all, build a core four meal repertoire, which will be kind of like your autopilot menu. This is for the people who hate thinking about what am I going to make for dinner again this week? And it feels like this endless cycle of I never know what to make for dinner. Maybe especially if you're cooking for your significant other, for your family, it gets exhausting to be like, what am I making for dinner? Oh my God, I have to plan dinner again. This is where your core four autopilot meals come into play. These are four meals that take under 10 minutes to cook, they require minimal prep, and they use overlapping ingredients. These are the meals that you have to go to. I have these for myself. It's typically like some kind of chickpea pasta because I love a pasta. So on those days where I'm like, I cannot even be bothered to think about prepping something or what to eat, I'm going to make a chickpea pasta and throw in whatever veggies we have in the fridge and call it a day, and add like a lemony olive oil dressing and make it like a pasta salad. That is my go-to. I don't wanna cook a lot. I just wanna make an easy meal. My other one is like a tofu stir fry. It takes under 10 minutes. I just cook the tofu in some olive oil on the stove and then throw in whatever frozen veggies I have. So that requires no prep. I have frozen ginger cubes ready to go, frozen garlic cubes. So, like, I will make the stir fry at least a couple times a week. When it's those days of like, I have nothing prepped, I have decision fatigue, I don't want to think about it. Takes 10 minutes. It's super easy. It's like a go-to. The point is just having 4 meals that you can easily go to that doesn't require any like crazy different ingredients that, it's stuff you likely will have in your fridge, in your pantry, having a pasta option cuz if you're like me, you always have pasta in your pantry, having a stir fry where you can use frozen veggies that you can stock up in your freezer. Another option might be cottage cheese, tomatoes, on sourdough toast, like something that is so easy when you're like, I don't feel like cooking. Maybe it's those days where you're like, I don't even feel like having dishes to wash. That's where like a good avocado toast, a cottage cheese toast, you don't even need dishes to cook. If you don't want to make a pasta or make a stir fry, have something that is your go to on these days where you're still fitting in nutrients, but it doesn't require a lot of prep. It doesn't require dishes if you get into that mindset. And it's just like an easy, delicious go to that you're likely to have. You could also make a notes app in your phone called your lazy meal folder and add links or screenshots of the easiest things in the world. I am talking about cottage cheese toast or a yogurt bowl or a tortilla with hummus and veggies and chicken in it. Something that takes no thought, not a lot of prep, and your only job is just to go to your notes app and rotate these on those days where you're really overwhelmed. When you do have those, I guess what this listener is referring to is like the more lazy meals, like heating up a frozen pizza or a box of mac and cheese, again, that's okay. I do that too. A little hack is to nutrient load them. So, like if boxed mac and cheese or frozen pizza or some frozen foods from Trader Joe's or whatever is the vibe tonight, here's how to upgrade them to just add more nutrients without adding any stress or prep. For example, for your mac and cheese, just add in some spinach and some frozen peas, maybe some canned beans, shredded rotisserie chicken, and stir it all in. It still tastes delicious. You're just adding in a little more nutrients that you didn't even need to prep in addition to your mac and cheese. You just throw it right in the pot with the mac and cheese. Or if you're doing a pizza, this is my favorite hack. I love to add a little salad or add some veggies on top. So I might add even just like some arugula on top, putting on some sauerkraut, or even like drizzling some olive oil post oven. Or if I want the mac and cheese as is, or the pizza as is, or the frozen Trader Joe's meals as is, just doing a super quick side salad with a big bag of leafy greens and like a simple balsamic vinaigrette with just balsamic vinegar and olive oil dressing is so good. Like, just have a little extra nutrients on the side. If a salad is too much prep, because there are those days too, baby carrots. This is a really great veggie to have on hand, just like snack on. You don't have to prepare it at all. Just snack on it as a method to get in more nutrients. You could eat that plain or with some hummus. If I have one of those days where I'm exhausted, I want to sit in front of the TV, I don't want to do any amount of extra prep or work. I have stuck a frozen pizza in the oven, and that is the amount of prep that I'm gonna do. I will snack on baby carrots while I'm waiting for the pizza to cook, just as a way to fit in some extra nutrients. It can be that simple. Or olives is another good one. I love to snack on olives while I'm cooking if I know, especially my meal isn't gonna be like the most nutrient dense. It's just a way to add in some extra nutrients into my body. And also a practice in Ayurveda, there's like a little kind of like sub method culture of like food combining, like starting a meal with some kind of veggie to help your digestion fire. I think especially raw veggies really help ignite that digestive fire. So like carrots, olives, snacking on these things that doesn't require any prep while you wait for your food to cook. Great way to set up your digestion for the meal you're about to have and add in some extra nutrients as well. And also we see this now, like there's the modern science to show this with glucose levels. Having some fibrous veggies before your meal helps sets up your glucose levels, your digestion, like it will help you feel so much better. No matter if what you're eating is like a Domino's pizza, it will make you feel a lot better. That's why in a lot of cultures they have some kind of fermented veggie that they start the meal with. There's all these like antipasto, pickled asparagus and pickled carrots and things like that that you might find in Italy. You see this show up in a lot of different cultures of having these, like, pickled veggies to start the meal. Crudité, I wish sometimes that I mean, I love a bread basket, don't get me wrong. I love a bread basket, but for our health, I would love if restaurants started serving, like, crudité platters instead of bread or, like, with the bread, let's say, because it would set up your digestion, your glucose levels, like, it would do so many good things for your health, no matter even what you're eating after. If you're going off on the dessert, starting with some veggies, if you're eating at home, take no prep at all, is going to be amazing for the way that you feel after that meal. And again, it doesn't need to be complicated to be nourishing. Olives, baby carrots, a handful of grapes, cherry tomatoes, these things that literally take out of your fridge and snack on it. It doesn't require any other prep work. these are going to be insanely nourishing without having any added complications. Like, think of it as like adding one thing that grew from the ground, basically. Can you just add one whole food to this meal, whatever that looks like? That will help with digestion, nutrient absorption, energy levels, glucose levels. Like, that will help with so much, no matter what meal you're eating. You can also really lean on frozen options without having to go the processed route. I love a Trader Joe's frozen meal as much as the next girl, but when we're short on time, we don't always have to lean on a fully prepared meal that has palm oil or added sugar or chemicals or like all these other things that we don't even know what's in it. You can still rely on frozen foods to create a really simple meal if you don't have time to go to the grocery store without going that route. I always have cauliflower rice and frozen veggies in my fridge for a super quick stir fry on days where I don't have time and I didn't get to the grocery store and I have nothing fresh in my fridge, frozen veggies, frozen fruit. If I get back from traveling at night and in the morning I have absolutely zero groceries, I can make a smoothie with some frozen fruit and frozen spinach that I had in the freezer. So, having these frozen options on hand makes it really easy to get together simple meals with limited prep, with limited grocery store time. I always have some frozen garlic and frozen ginger on hand to help minimize prep work, even if I'm home making a soup. But I'm like, I don't want to spend the time to like chop garlic or ginger root. Having it frozen minimizes the prep time. Pre-cooked grains, having some frozen quinoa or like microwavable brown rice packets, frozen soup cubes or smoothie packs are also great full meals that are ready to just like reheat or to put in the blender and they're ready to go. So utilize frozen a lot more than you might already to really minimize your prep and make your life a lot easier. Another idea, if you're dealing with decision fatigue and you get into that overwhelm of like, oh my God, another week I have to think about what to cook for my family again, have theme nights. Every Monday, it's a soup. Every Tuesday, obviously, it's got to be Taco Tuesday. Maybe you have like wrap Wednesday where you just like throw whatever's in your fridge into a wrap. Maybe you have pasta Thursdays. Having a theme, even if you're switching up the ingredients every week, it still is minimizing the decision fatigue of having to think about like, there's no guardrails whatsoever for what type of recipe I'm going to make. And it simplifies your life a lot. Having a theme night every night of the week is a great way to minimize the decision making. And then, kind of as I mentioned before, no matter what your grocery strategy is, really lean on sauces and dressings because you don't want to get bored of the flavors or be eating bland, boring meals. If your meals do not excite you, your body will go searching for dopamine from snacks or takeout or doom scrolling. Like, your meals should be pleasurable. It is a crucial time of our day that we are experiencing dopamine and pleasure. So, in order to achieve that, have some very default flavor enhancers on hand that can change up the flavor or add more flavor to any basic dish. For example, rice, veggies, and protein. It's a good basic meal you can prep at the beginning of the week and easily reheat. So let's say you have the exact same rice, veggies, and protein combination. Maybe one day you add salsa and hot sauce for that kind of vibe. Maybe you put it in a tortilla. Maybe the next day you top it with like a creamy tahini lemony dressing and some feta cheese. You are getting a totally different flavor profile and experience without having to add any more decision making or effort or prep. I love to have some dressings and sauces from Primal Kitchens. When I'm really busy and don't have time to prep, they may be a little bit pricier. Whole Foods will usually do a sale, at least some of them, most of the time. So I will buy them when they're on sale. But to me, it is worth the investment for busy weeks because on weeks where I have the time or can make time, I will make my own sauces at the beginning of the week. That's part of my prep time. But on the weeks where I really don't have time, or I'm trying to minimize as much time prepping as possible, having a really delicious ranch or teriyaki or buffalo sauce, all these like super delicious flavors, having them on hand already prepared that I can like change up the flavor of any meal or make a salad really delicious, whatever it is, is to me worth that investment. Why I say this company specifically, Primal Kitchens, they don't have any inflammatory oils or added sugar or things that like dressings and sauces normally have. You really do have to be careful when buying even salad dressings, sauces. Don't panic too much, but it is like if you're going to use it on a day to day basis, you just don't want to be adding, like, if you're going to have a salad that you think you're getting in all these nutrients and you're trying to be so healthy for your body, you don't want the dressing to have added sugar and added chemicals or whatever that's going to cause inflammation to your body if it's on a regular basis. So, Primal Kitchens is my go to brand, and I always have some kind of these sauces at all times. But some of my other favorite flavor enhancers are coconut aminos. I make a basic stir fry a lot of nights with veggies, frozen ginger cubes, and tofu, and just add coconut aminos on it. I think it tastes delicious. You can top it with some sriracha or chili oil as well. It's so good. Having lemon juice or balsamic flavored oil, like these things can transform the same basic ingredients so simply. So these are other things I always have on hand just to switch up the flavor profile of the same basic ingredients. Now, one more tip for the days where you just cannot. You've had the craziest, busiest day. You are overwhelmed. Even just staring at your prepped veggies and thinking of pairing the pieces together is giving you overwhelm. Or the days where you just like open your fridge and stare and your brain is just not computing them into meals. So you just know that you're going to order takeout or you're going to eat a bowl of cereal for dinner or whatever it is. Those days will still happen and that's okay. First of all, like I said before, snack on grapes or baby carrots while you wait for your food to be ready if you can. But even if not, instead, make your meal about energy, not food. Light a candle, play some music, make yourself a mocktail, put on a face mask. If your actual meal does not feel nourishing, nourish yourself in other ways. That's fine too. If you're eating lunch at your desk and all you had to heat up was a hot pocket and you know that it's not going to make your body feel very good, what is one more nourishing thing that you can do during your lunch? Is it taking a pause, putting away your computer, and instead just taking a few deep breaths? Is it listening to a podcast you love? Is it going and talking to your coworker, your work wife, and having lunch with her? What is a way to nourish yourself that's not through food? Because there are thousands of other ways to nourish us. Joy is a nutrient too. So, your meals, no matter what, should be key opportunities to nourish yourself. A lot of times that likely will mean nourishment through physical nutrients for your body, but other times that nourishment might mean for your mind, for your joy, for your pleasure. So just make sure, whether it's through food or through other means, every meal is an opportunity to nourish yourself in some way. Now, can I say something else? Another tip without causing panic? Cycle syncing, I think, is one of the greatest hacks to avoid overwhelm. Let me explain to you because I know it sounds really complicated and confusing, and you have to think about a lot of things. Let me explain why I think it is so helpful for decision fatigue. So I rotate grains, legumes, fruits, veggies, and general recipes 4 times every month. So basically, I think of it for like each week of the month. So I go into every week knowing my exact grocery list, the few meals that I know I'm going to make. But since it's different throughout the month, I'm not getting sick and tired of every meal and I'm getting a wide range of nutrients throughout the month. So, for example, when I'm going into my luteal phase, I know I am going to have bowls with sweet potato and chickpeas for lunch. And I always make maybe like a chickpea pasta with leeks or some kind of stew for my luteal phase. Like in that week, I know what my grocery list is, I know what my meals are going to be. I also will probably get some like apples or pears for snacks. Like I know what to expect from my grocery shopping and from my meals in that phase. But then in my menstrual phase, I always have typically like beet tacos. I make this beet taco recipe and a mushroom soup or a noodle dish with mushrooms. I don't have to think and plan every new week because it's already done But because I'm cycling it, I still get a variety of nutrients and meals throughout the month so that I'm not tired of it and then I'm getting the variety of nutrients. Or something else that I do for lunch, like I like to keep it super simple, avoid the decision fatigue, the same basic formula with greens, quinoa, and beans. And I will just switch up the veggies and flavors and the things I'm going to add to it based on my cycle phase. The luteal phase, a go to for me, is adding sweet potato, chickpeas, doing like a warm grounding, maybe some roasted veggies in there. So it's like this nice, nourishing grain bowl using the same basic formula. In my follicular phase after my period, I love to add a lot of like raw cucumber, tomato, parsley, like a lot of raw light veggies. I'll add some northern white beans and then I will do a tempeh, get a little more protein in and maybe some avocado to get some fats. Like it's the same basic formula of greens, quinoa, and some kind of beans. And I switch up the veggies. That's another easy way that I just feel like I have no decision fatigue with meals because I'm switching up my meals throughout the month, but I know what to buy and what to make every week, if that makes sense. This is literally why I made my Hot Girl Hormones ebook because so many people were like, I'm overwhelmed trying to think of meals and grocery lists. And I was like, here you go. Here are the grocery lists and the meals that you can repeat every month so that you're getting variety, but you don't have to think about or guess what meals, what grocery lists, all that good stuff. The main thing I want you to take away from this episode, no matter what method or tip resonated with you, is to make your meals a part of your self care, not a source of stress. So that might look like making some gourmet beet tacos one day and then having a frozen pizza with a side of baby carrots the next. Both are a part of a healthy, balanced life. So whether you are crushing your 5432 grocery flow this week or you are ordering takeout while you're lighting a candle and you're making yourself a mocktail, you're doing great. You are nourishing your body. You are taking care of yourself in the way that fits your life right now. Okay, that is the main thing that I want you to take away. Now, I got to be honest, covering this topic at a time when 40 million people in our country face losing food assistance in the coming days, I just cannot not address this, period, I guess, in general, but especially when answering a question about meals. What a privilege to be able to think about nutrition and want to prioritize nutrition and have options and have a fridge or a pantry full of food, even if it's food we don't want or won't help us hit our health goals. It is an immense privilege that I think should be a right rather than a privilege. And this administration certainly does not agree. The most powerful thing that we can do is advocate for the people who don't have the luxury of choice. Vote with your most vulnerable neighbors in mind. Support organizations doing the work in your community. And just like my last reminder that I just feel like I have to share, especially in this kind of episode, I hope you always remember that wellness in its truest form, true well being, means everyone has access to the nourishment that they deserve. We cannot truly be well unless everyone in our communities are well too. As always, I love hearing your questions. Thank you to this listener for submitting this Ask the Everygirl. DM me at the Everygirl podcast if you have a question you would like me to answer on air. And if you try the 5432 system or any of the tips I share today, tag me on Instagram so I can see your snack plates and meal combos. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I will see you next time on the Everygirl podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I know I sure did. Please do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It really makes a huge difference for our show so we can keep growing and bringing the content that you love. If you want more info, you can find us at the Everygirl Podcast on Instagram or at theeverygirlpodcast.com. Talk to you next week.